Now I'm going to tell you something very clear. Home prices in America aren't rising at the same rate everywhere. In some areas, people are struggling to sell their homes, while in others, homes are selling like hotcakes before they even have a chance to list them. And the interesting thing is, most people wouldn't even consider some of these areas. If you invest in the right cities and neighborhoods right now, you have the chance to grow your wealth over the next 5–10 years. But if you're in the wrong place, the same house could become a burden. That's why in this video, I'll tell you which areas in America have high price growth potential, why these areas stand out, and what you need to pay attention to when investing. And look, you don't want to miss this information, because the places we'll be talking about today will be on the radar of real estate investors in the coming years. So watch the video until the end. And of course, if you want to be among the first to hear about this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Everyone has heard of Florida. Areas like Miami, Tampa, and Orlando have seen a real influx of people in recent years. People are moving to Florida because of the low taxes and the appealing climate. But here's the thing, Miami is now a well-known investment hotspot. So yes, there are still opportunities here, but prices have risen so much that the profitability isn't as attractive as it used to be. What's really interesting are Florida's northern and inland regions. Take Jacksonville, for example. It remained in the shadow of Miami and Orlando for a long time, but in recent years, it has grown significantly thanks to technology companies and logistics investments. Home prices are still much more affordable than in Miami, but rental demand is high. So it's a solid spot in terms of both cash flow and long-term value appreciation. A friend of mine who is an investor bought a house in Jacksonville last year for $280,000. Today, the same house is around $340,000. That's a $60,000 increase in value in just 1 year, and this is just the beginning. Texas continues to be a favorite destination for investors in the United States. The reason is simple: a strong economy, steadily increasing migration and job opportunities. Austin, Dallas, Houston. These cities are already in the spotlight. But just like in Florida, new opportunities here lie in the overlooked areas. Take San Antonio, for example. Many people talk about Austin's boom, but prices in Austin have reached such levels that it has become very difficult for new investors to enter the market. San Antonio, on the other hand, is still affordable, has high tenant demand, and has strong growth potential. There's also an important detail in Texas. State taxes are low, but property taxes are a bit high. So when investing, you need to pay attention not only to prices, but also to how taxes will affect you. But despite this, thanks to population flow and the job market, Texas is still a very solid investment point in the long term. I believe North Carolina is one of the least talked about but most promising regions in the U.S. in recent years, especially the Charlotte and Raleigh-Durham areas. Tech companies are growing rapidly here, and the young population is constantly flowing in thanks to universities and research centers. Home prices are still reasonable, and demand is increasing every day. It is said that Charlotte could become a second Atlanta within 5 years. For example, a house that cost $300,000 last year in Charlotte is now priced at $360,000. Moreover, rents are rising at the same pace. So you get both short-term cash flow and the potential for significant long-term value appreciation. Arizona was long known as a state where retirees went, but things have changed. Phoenix and surrounding cities have experienced incredible growth over the past 10 years. The main reasons for this are technology investments and climate migration. Yes, Arizona is very hot, but taxes are low, and the cost of living is much more affordable compared to California. That's why people are flocking here from California. Phoenix and Tucson have benefited the most from this migration. Just think, a house that would cost you $900,000 in California can be had for $450,000 in Phoenix. What's more, rental demand is so high that there's almost no risk of it sitting empty. Denver has long been a place of interest for investors, but it still has potential. Because Denver is not just about beautiful scenery, it also has a strong job market. The technology, healthcare, and energy sectors are growing here. Even Colorado's smaller cities are experiencing significant activity. People are moving here for both quality of life and job opportunities. With the rise of remote work, mountainous areas have become particularly attractive. For example, homes purchased near Denver for $350,000 can increase in value to $500,000 within a few years. Of course, competition is high in these areas, but if you find the right spot, the gains are substantial. When people think of Nashville, music often comes to mind, but for real estate investors, it's a gold mine. The city is growing rapidly, not just culturally but economically as well. The healthcare sector and technology investments in particular make Nashville attractive. Consider the incredible population growth over the past 5 years. People are choosing Nashville both for work and for its quality of life. Home prices are rising accordingly. It's no surprise that a house that sold for $320,000 last year is now going for $380,000. Moreover, demand for short-term rentals, Airbnb, is also very high in Nashville. This means it offers advantages to investors in terms of both traditional rentals and short-term rentals. Now let's talk about some Midwest cities that everyone overlooks. Cities like Detroit, Cleveland, and Kansas City were not on investors' radar for a long time, but in recent years, serious opportunities have emerged in these areas. This is because home prices in these cities are still low, but the population is slowly returning. Young people, in particular, are gravitating toward these areas for affordable living and job opportunities. A friend of mine bought a house in Detroit for $120,000 and sold it for $180,000 within 2 years. That's a 50% increase in value. Of course, not every region has the same potential, but if you find the right spots, the Midwest still offers very affordable investment opportunities. Now, my friend, as you can see, not every region in America is the same. Prices are inflated in some places, while in others we're still at the beginning of the road. Northern Florida, San Antonio in Texas, Charlotte in North Carolina, Phoenix in Arizona, Denver in Colorado, Nashville in Tennessee, and even some Midwest cities. These are the areas that will make investors smile in the coming years. But remember, even though these areas offer opportunities, the real work of investing is up to your detailed research. You must take taxes, insurance, tenant demand, and long-term potential into account. And look, if what I shared today was helpful to you, rest assured there's much more to come. So subscribe now and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on region-specific analyses, investment tactics, and real investor stories in future videos. Now, here's my question for you. Which of these regions do you think will appreciate the most? Write your thoughts in the comments and let's discuss together.